7:45. Welcome back. It's a great day for this 20th day of November. Lou, Jackie, and Jason here, being joined by Dr. Eugene Cherny. How are you, my friend?
Morning.
Good
Doing
to see you,
great.
man.
How you been?
And so we always talk about the latest buzz that's going around.
We gotta talk about the buzz.
Yeah, that's happening in your field, and there is one going around that we just want to touch on just for a couple seconds, because this is, when you told us this, it just blew us away before we went on camera. So tell everybody what the hot thing going around.
Okay, this is the hot thing, is that a guy in New York came up with the idea of a temporary breast implant. He will inject fluid into the breasts, I guess to whatever size you want. You can make it to the size of a breast implant, and that will temporarily swell your breast to that size. So basically, you can take them for a test drive.
So a dude takes a bag of saline, basically, injects it, and
correct.
Yeah,
correct.
And
would your body immediately absorb that?
I've heard them making claims that it lasts for up to 2 weeks. I find that like really hard to believe. I'd be surprised if it lasted like 2 days. 2 days, maybe. I think he charged $1,000. I think that's a lot for like a day or two. But some people are doing it, I guess, for like a party or for like a, whatever.
Yeah, there were a couple of DJs that did this, a couple of guys that did this to see what it would be like to have breasts.
Right. If you want to do a test drive, I suggest, we have a lot of different methods. Look online. We use temporary breast sizers so people can choose their breast implant size.
Oh, really?
You mean like computer images, or?
You can do computer imaging too. You can actually choose the implant size and fill a baggie with rice or something and wear it and see how that feels. And that's not a bad idea.
So you get the idea of how it wears and things like that, as opposed to physically injecting something.
Correct.
Is there any harm? I imagine there's no harm in doing it once, but is there any harm in having that done repetitively?
Probably would be. And it probably would be. I would think it's a waste of money to do it again and again anyway. But well, you're injecting salt water, which is what most of the body's made of. But there's probably some inflammation and scar by the injection. Yeah.
I think you should invent like those Air Jordan things, or you can pump.
The Reebok pumps.
Pumps, yeah. Oh, yeah, the Reebok pumps.
Yeah.
Put something in, and just some days, maybe you want to be fuller and deflate some days.
I think you're onto something.
Your dress doesn't fit quite right.
Right.
Exactly. That could be already patented for all we know. I'll have to check that out.
So what are we going to talk about here today, then?
Well, what we're going to talk about, if you'd like to, is plastic surgery on teens. This is another controversial area.
On teens?
On teens,
okay.
Yes. Now, if you go, this was a big deal this summer because they were giving away, the big thing that was popular in Texas was breast implants for prom night, or breast implants for graduation.
What?
Yes. And if you go to the coast too, it's not unusual. There are plastic surgeons that, are not from my group, that don't have the same ethical codes. And you'll see, girls in high school that want breast implants. Nose jobs, very common at age 14, actually, too.
Wow.
Well, okay, so to me there's a line here, because my nose was broken twice when I was a teenager, so I had to have reconstructive surgery done because it deviated my septum and my nose was pushed over.
What were you doing?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
No, you're involved with sports, athletics, and things happen. And
they did a very nice job. You have a very pretty nose.
Well, thank you. But I'm saying I had to have reconstructive surgery. I was a teenager when that happened. So to me, yes, that makes sense. Going in for something, just be saying, "Oh, Mom, I wish I had a smaller nose," to me is something completely different. So I think there's a line there of.
I think it's a good line. I think it's a very good line. I think that it's. So what I was going to say is that if it's purely cosmetic, I think it's important that the person be mature and be able to make a mature decision.
What I'm asking is, I needed it for medical purposes so I could breathe better. But is there a line when you're just saying for aesthetic purposes that you follow? Yeah,
there is. If it's purely aesthetic, you really need to wait till you're 18 or 21 and see that someone's mature. But if your nose is to the side like this, after a football accident or soccer, you should have that straightened out. And the things that we do on teenagers, we think about the teen years as being a very fragile time emotionally, and this is when you're really, I think you can really have your life ruined by bullying and by teasing and this type of thing. So the things that traditionally we focused on the young are things like abnormalities of the breast in boys. Some boys grow female breasts just from normal hormones, and this condition has been known like thousands of years. And some young ladies, as they develop their breasts, one will be large, one will be small. And when you're in sports and we're in the gym, it's kind of hard to hide this stuff, and it's hard not to be bullied and teased about this kind of thing. And then the third thing that we do sometimes are these really prominent ears.
We have some pictures here of some.
Yeah, we got some. There's an example of prominent ears. For some people, this is like a huge issue if they're being teased by this. Actually, we fixed this as early as like first, second grade, because the ear is actually. The ear is actually fully grown then. 85% of the ear, 85% grown by age 6.
So what, there's just too much material there between the base of the skull and the outer portion of the ear?
I was gonna say, is
it's
this
just overgrown.
Is it an extensive surgery or is it pretty
Actually,
simple?
not too bad. No, actually not too much. No, it isn't really.
Okay.
And children just do very well with the light anesthetic that's used. So for some, if they're getting teased, and it's a burden that you can take off.
Even that small, you can do stuff.
Wow.
Well, this is very cool though. Actually, if you catch it early, you can actually make a plastic mold and stick it in there and straighten it out without surgery.
Oh, you're
and
kidding.
they're starting to get smart, and they're starting to put these in the newborn units at the hospitals
cool.
now. Yeah, so actually, hopefully you won't have to do surgery anymore if they jump on this when they're babies.
Huh.
That
I
is
had no
awesome.
idea.
That is
So that's very cool. But see, you get all kinds of crazy abnormalities like this, and
See, that one on the upper left is cool.
Ears
Well,
can
I'd like
come out
that,
in
yeah.
various shapes and forms. I do know that.
There you go. You know, now with gauging, someone might want to have this actually.
Now, as opposed to the ear, the nose, if a teenager has a nose job, they're still going to grow for a few more years. Does that?
The nose is mostly grown by 14 actually too.
Oh, okay.
Mostly structurally grown by 14. That's why 14 is the age that it's really popular in New York City to get a nose job when you're 14 as like your birthday present.
Huh.
But there's different ways of going about it. Like we said, you're getting a nose job just to get a nose job, or you're doing it because it actually is going to improve your life in some way.
Yeah.
Something definitely to
Nice
think
to
about.
breathe.
Well, that's just it.
Every
I'm just
once in a while.
saying there are reasons to do that kind of stuff, but just to say you're 14 and like, Mom, I wish I had a new nose. I don't know.
But if you have any questions about
different.
this, at whatever age you might happen to be, you'd be the guy to see, right? Okay.
No problem.
All right. You said we have a couple of more pictures to show.
Oh, what else do we have?
Here's an example. This kills guys because not only can they not go to the pool, but they can't even wear a t-shirt.
Right.
When they come to me, they say, I just want to wear a t-shirt. That's
Right.
all they want is to be able to wear a t-shirt. Now this is a good one that would respond very well to liposuction, for example. And this is not a hard fix. Here's another one. It's
That's a guy?
believe it or not, that's a guy. That's a guy before, and that's the guy after, and that was treated with liposuction. Sometimes it requires a surgical excision, but this is
So that
something
was
that
an example we were
really
talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
this really bugs guys, and they'll come in and they'll be skinny and they'll be buff, and sometimes insurance will cover this, especially if in a child.
How about that?
If a child's had it for 2 years, and we send them to the pediatric endocrinologist, if they have normal endocrinological workup, if I pronounce that right, endocrinological workup. Anyway, if that's normal and it's 2 years, they have normal sexual maturation, then that's considered sometimes under insurance.
There you go. So
Huh.
you can answer all those questions at your place, I take it.
You got it.
How can they get in touch with you?
HeartlandPS.com, www.heartlandps.com. There's my number. We're right by Living History Farms.
And you can work with families if they have questions about this, no matter what the age.
We like to get the whole family involved in a consultation, actually. That's the only way to go.
Okay.
Great stuff.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good to
Always
see
a
you, buddy.
pleasure.
All right.
Thank you. See you.
7:53. We'll be right back. You're watching